If I have at all by now done my job as an airsoft content creator on YouTube, you would know me at this moment as Stupid Airsoft. If you're new here, welcome. You probably found me during your journey throughout YouTube, and I guess I've fully decided now that we are going to do a once a year review of every single airsoft replica that I have in my possession right now. And I'll try and give you an updated story on ones that I've gotten rid of, if I do get rid of any, or any that I've acquired, and how I've acquired them, and all upgrades that we've added or changed onto anything that we have, basically. Now, we are not making this video cheesy, but it's because of you guys that I could do this. Thank you. I also forgot to mention there's no particular order here, so we're just gonna kind of go for it. And you like the leaf hat? Is my leaf hat. This is the GHK G5. This I actually just recently picked up, and I'm currently working on the review video for it. It's primarily polymer construction, and I did notice when I took it apart that the barrel, at least the inner barrel, was taken out and they replaced it with a longer inner barrel. So it's gonna be a little bit weird of a review when I do upload it, because it's not gonna be strictly stock. But I have a lot of cool upgrades for this on the way. I got some Rogueworks parts, which are going to help solve the imminent receiver breaking or receiver cracking that happens with this thing. And then I also am going to be installing the TAP HPA lower, which is strictly why I picked this thing up. It is GHK's variant, or I guess make or model, of the Evo, which is really cool. But there is a gas blowback Evo coming out of the market soon. It's, again, majority stock. It's got a cheap scope on it that came with it. It's got a cheap little handguard on it that came with it. And this is actually the shush can that comes with the modified PP2K. It doesn't come with it, but it's the one that Modified makes for the PP2K. I just took off the locking mount for the PP2K, and I threw it on the G5. And oh, by the way, most of these aren't going to have mags in them, just because I store these in a place where I don't want gas getting out of them. So the mags are all stored somewhere else. This is my Lambda Defense GHM9G, and this is the Glock variant, so it takes the standard G mags. There is absolutely no aftermarket internal parts on this just yet. This is just how it comes. I did throw a different flash hider on the end of it. There is a like an aftermarket. It's not the actual EOTech, but this is the EOTech scope. It's actually on backwards. I actually gave this to a friend during an event. I didn't realize this is on backwards. That's gonna bother a lot of people. Sorry. This is a 3D printed AR style grip. Super cool. It's a little bit chunkier than the standard grip, and I actually did that because the grip that comes with it, the base plate, started like getting loose, and it just kept opening and closing. I couldn't get it to like stay closed. So this is actually a lot more comfortable. And this is really cool too. This is a like mag holder grip from EKO. I painted it black, and it does also hold a extra G mag in case I need. And then this, sorry, I'm trying to do this with like the busted hand, is a small pressure, or yeah, just like a pressure fitted charging nub that I got off of Bamboo Labs app, and I just printed that and tossed that on as well. This is arguably one of the funnest replicas that I've used, and I still use. It is the Indoor Beast. This is the Jag Arms Reaper. Insanely cool. It is modeled off the Tokyo Marui M870. The gas is actually held inside of the grip. I took some wrap, some paracord, and strapped it around that. And I gotta be honest, I don't know how I got it on that tight, because it doesn't come off. It literally never comes off. I do have a Velcro strap here over a sticker where I can hold all of my shells in case I need them. I run the TAP Airsoft M4 adapter on here. To do that, I had to rip out the little like window that you use to keep the shells in. And after I did that, I was able to insert this, and now I can just run like EPM1 mags and stuff if I wanted. This is an EPM1. Got a small little grip here, a flashlight with a strobe, because, you know, why not be a pain in the butt? We got a 5KU tracer on the end of this as well. I will say though, this thing, there's so much like plastic up in the front, like the clear plastic, it just breaks on the inside after it gets shot at. It still works, but it's definitely been busted. And then here is a small little CV Life red dot that I have on that. Other than that, almost everything is completely stock. There's nothing internally that I had to change. In order to run the M4 mags as well, I almost forgot, I had to chop the foregrip, or I guess pump, down a little bit, a few inches. And, oh, wouldn't be complete without the squiddy sticker. Handsome Squidward. There's no sense in waiting for it. We'll just get it out of the way now. This is, I gotta tell you, I guess you've never played a game of COD. The M72 A3 LAW. And this one comes from KJ Claw, I believe. So it comes with, how do we do this again? Oh yeah, okay, so I've got to pull this pin out. And then if I unlatch this, the sling and the cap will come off. So it comes with the sling, comes with the cap, and now it's ready to arm. All right, I'll do it. Oh, this thing is so cool and so expensive and so not worth the price. So one of the biggest issues on this thing when I had first received it is the fact that for some reason, it really isn't very friendly with a lot of like the standard gas 40mm shells out there. So I had to really be like nitpicky with it. It does work with the 40 max shells just fine. And yeah, that's all I was able to get in here. Oh no, it also worked with the T238 ones. Yeah, it was the T238 ones as well. Yeah, this thing's super cool. It's just overly expensive. Takes forever to arm. And I got it strictly because I absolutely love the M72 A3 LAW. Now, if you don't know, as I close this thing back up, the M72 A3 LAW is actually designed to be an expendable launcher, which means that after it fires, it's useless. Now, this one in particular is not. It just takes a really long time to rearm. But I don't know. I just think that's so cool, so goofy, so fun. It's such a big item. This is the APS Striker 12, or the Street Sweeper. Awesome replica. This functions on CO2 shells, and it takes forever to load. And there was an original variant that had been made by Orange War Games that was originally taken off of the market. And then APS, from my understanding, picked it up again and started manufacturing them. And now they make two variants. They make one that holds gas in the base shell, and then you can use like hollow shells in order to load it, which is probably the better option. I picked up the one that takes these CO2 shells, but it is an absolute blast. All the shells load in the window. You can pop the stock back out. There is a scope or an optic that is basically like canon to this piece, and I am so excited to get my hands on it at some point down the road. They're really not that expensive, actually, but just something fun, something cool. It's definitely an eye turner. It's definitely fun, but it's not efficient, and it takes forever to load, just like the real one. This right here is one of my most recent pickups. This is the G&G Levar, and I actually picked up the 7, which is the shorter of the variations. I'm sorry, I didn't pick this up. This was a Christmas gift, but I've been modifying it ever since. On the inside of here, I have upgraded the tapper plate because mine busted when we installed this upgraded lever. I'm running EPM 1s, as obviously you'd expect. We got a small little foregrip on here, a tracer shush can. This is the Novritsch LPVO, which I'm actually not too much of a fan of. It's definitely rugged and works, but the picture's very small and the eye relief isn't great. And then this is the Bristol-based Airsoft stock. This one actually is my most recent upgrade to this thing, and it is awesome. It's nice and comfortable. It looks sleek. It's designed specifically for the Levar. But I really do enjoy this thing. I love the look of it, and I love the way this thing runs. It is efficient. It is all gas held in the stock. It runs AEG mags. It's accurate, and it's consistent. And I can't wait to play with this thing on the field. This may replace a sniper at some point. May. This giant chunk of plastic is the jackhammer. And this is a shoddy that I don't think most people will ever see because there is so few of them available on the market today. This one, however, is 3D printed. And the reason I'm going to showcase some of these 3D printed projects that I've done, I didn't make this. This is files that I actually purchased myself, is because they're just so cool. This takes the same shells that the Striker that we just saw does. And what's really cool about it is, again, it's all literally all 3D printed, besides some hardware. The mag rotates when you pull the trigger. It's got like some monstrous iron sights, a massive barrel. It is just ridiculous. I do have some quirks to work out with this one before we do a full video on it, which we haven't actually showcased on the channel yet. I do have to print out the stock, which I'm going to do in TPU. I have to do some filing to get some things to work a little bit more smoothly. These do work, and I've seen people have them do work. The only problem is I think I printed the infill of the mag that comes out in too high of an infill, and it's just too heavy. So the mechanism has a hard time moving it. So I think I'm going to print it in a less infill, a little bit lighter, so that I can move it nice and smooth. And I'm going to go in there and smooth out all the internals and stuff like that. Maybe pick up some stronger springs and whatnot. But it is so cool. And just a fun fact about why I really like this shotty so much is the real variant, which never really made it to mass manufacturing. I think there's like 3 total available. Someone can correct me on that. Is the fact that if you needed to, you could take out the mag, put it on the ground, and use it as a landmine. We just, over the last week, uploaded a review on this one. This is the VFC gas blowback SCAR-H. So cool. I actually picked this up aftermarket on the hop-up app. Everything internally is completely stock. I do have some upgraded parts on the way and some mods that we're going to be doing to this. But this, if you don't know, is the hardest kicking gas blowback that I have ever felt. It is ridiculous. Now, I have fired real steel. It's nothing like that. It is ridiculous. This thing is absolutely ridiculous. It feels like it's going to explode in your hands. It does have a West Hunter LPVO on it that came with it. A flashlight that I'm going to wind up with the pressure pad, probably removing and putting something different on. I've gotten a lot of questions about this foregrip. This is the Stark foregrip. It's an angle grip. And then up in the front is just a shush can from, I believe, EMG. Just an awesome piece. So cool. Everybody loves the SCAR. If you haven't noticed already, I do purchase a lot of stuff on my own that I just like. It's not like what's popular. I know the SCAR is popular, but a lot of things I just pick up because I think it's cool, and I just want to show you guys it because really Airsoft is just nerding out and looking cool. This is not something that I thought that I'd want, but then I got it and I realized it's absolutely something that I wanted. This is a replica that's made it on my channel more times than I can remember. This is the Modify PP2K, and Russia just does it right. This is like their variant of the MP7, I guess everybody calls it. And we did battle with a couple challenges with this one originally, like gas efficiency issues and stuff. But we recently figured that out by throwing a lower power nozzle in there and then replacing some of the O-rings on the mags. Everything internally is completely stock. And the only real problem that I've had with this thing is the screws on the inside of the FCU started getting loose. And it started to stutter fire on auto and then full auto on semi, which was just kind of weird. This is an SLX MD25 red dot. I do have a kill flash on the end of it. We just uploaded a video review of the T238 Nano Flame. Love proprietary parts and upgrades for replicas. This is the flashlight with pressure pad that comes from Modify. And then I actually sold off the wire stock that comes with this one, and I threw on the tube stock adapter and the tube stock that comes with the OTS, I think, OTS 25, OTS 125, which is their longer variant of the PP2K that Modify offers. I used to have one of those. I don't anymore. I kind of want to pick one up again. If you haven't seen this, this is another 3D printed project that hit the internet for, I guess, Airsoft purposes by storm, the Lynx. This is an HPA Lynx, and this is designed by Panvverine. The files I purchased from Panvverine. And I've recently been informed that they are not available anymore, I guess due to his country's restrictions. I don't know. I hate to hear that, and I'm so sorry. And no, I can't get you the files for these. No, I don't have the rights to them. Yes, you can watch the rest of this. This thing is so cool. Now, the way that it works is it actually runs on HPA'd G-Mags. You can do extendos or standards. The HPA connects onto the mag, and so does your rounds. The mock rounds will fill into the actual Lynx mag, which you can take out. And if you choose to, you can run it with or without shell ejection. And you have 3D printed shells, 50 cal shells. Is that not super cool? I have used this for so long now. It's been probably 3 years that I've been cooking with the Silverback TAC 41. And this is the TAC 41 original, the P variant. and it is absolutely decked out. I do have some leaf litter on the outside. Right now I run a shorter outer barrel, and it's the triangular one. Externally, I also have the Novritsch. This is the premium scope and a bubble level. And then, of course, I run the run cam scope cam if I ever do decide to video and edit it all and post it. I'm sorry that I haven't really ever done that. I also run a short, chubby little Silverback carbon suppressor. It is loaded with stalker parts. We got guide rings, pistons, springs, hop-up units, Morpheus barrels, buckings. It is just caked to the brim. It is unbelievably reliable. It is unbelievably accurate out of the box and now, and I love this thing. So anytime I ever ask anyone if they want to get into airsoft sniping, the best investment you can make, this Silverback TAC 41. Overused and overabused in every sci-fi film is the Krytac Kriss Vector. Now, I've had a doozy with these things. I have actually owned the AEG. I've owned three, I repeat, three KWA variants. I had picked up one. It was in horrible condition. I moseyed it on along. I picked up two, a black and a tan version, and I combined the black and the tan on the upper and lower, and then I sold one off. And then I picked up the Krytac variant and realized with some easy modifications, this thing is phenomenal. So I actually got rid of the KWA variant, and now I'm down to this guy. Internally, this thing was built to shred itself apart. With some time filing, love, care, and respect, I actually got it to a very usable point. There are a couple aftermarket upgrades I'd like to add to this, but as of right now, I have just sanded and filed all of the moving parts in here, relubricated and cleaned everything. I had thrown in a stalker, bucking, and inner barrel. I'm running a very small little tracer unit that I actually painted to look like Bullet Bill. This is a 3D printed shield, just because I thought it'd be a funny upgrade. Does it work? Yeah. Should it be allowed in fields? Probably not. I got a small little red dot on a riser. This is from CV Life, and this one's really cool. It actually is solar charged, so you can run it with solar or a backup battery. And that's everything that I've done to the... I almost just moved the table. The Kriss Vector. This is the Wellpro PPK20, and this thing is such a unique piece. Honestly, when this thing was taken out of the box and I did some testing with it, I was blown away. Its physical capabilities, its strength, its quality, its performance, it is just unbelievable. Wellpro did a phenomenal job with this thing, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you've ever held one, you understand, and if you haven't, you probably are going to want to. They released the PPK20, and it's a really cool replica. It is like a PCC, which is really cool, and it's got a lot of funky selectors, which are ambi. It's like all the things that the AKS-74U is, but like took some notes from like an M4 or an AR. Like the trigger's still kind of balls, but the selector switch is cool and ambidextrous. You still have like the iconic mag, but you don't have the rock and lock. It enters like an MP5. It is just so interesting. I have a Cyborg Monstrum red dot on here, or like a prism. I have a pressure pad and flashlight, a weird little flash hider, a Magpul Mo foregrip, and my only complaint with this thing is that aftermarket part compatibility for like, I guess like PP19 stuff isn't there. But Wellpro just released a PP19. So if you wanted to modify it, you could just pick up the PP19. And it's, from my understanding, it's basically the same exact thing that this is, except different stock, different handguard. And it accepts a ton of the different parts. Just an awesome little compact machine. This little phone book is like no other. This is the Tactical Index, like Bullpup AAP1 body kit. There's an AAP1 on the inside of here, and it feeds back down here like a bullpup, and it's a body kit. Is that not wicked? The AAP1 on the inside of here is actually fully upgraded. There is a bunch of internal steel parts for like the hammer assembly and stuff. And I threw it inside. I 3D printed this guy, got the hardware, and I actually painted it in a pickup truck bed liner spray, so it's textured. I'm running just a like Amazon red dot on here, and this is the H-Tech I think it's the Predator tracer. But like, it is gas blowback, it recoils, and it works as such. The only downside is you can't adjust the fire selector. Here's your mag release. It's so cool. Just so cool. I'm telling you, 3D printer was my best investment. Now we're getting into something juicy. If you don't know, this is the Tokyo Marui Saiga 12. What I did was I took the Tokyo Marui Saiga 12, the standard version. I took ITP's full auto kit. I installed it on the inside of it, so now you can run full auto just like the, the Saiga 12 SBS. And then I installed the Groza 12 kit from ITP. And it turned it into a Groza 12. Little foregrip on the end of it, as well as the T238. It's like a soda can tracer. Thing is crazy. And it's so interesting because, I also have a small little charging handle on here, a small little nub. And what's really like interesting about this thing is when you do reload it, this is the one rifle that a lot of people had with it, and I just think it's unique. Obviously, it's not convenient at all, but like it doesn't bother me. Is in order to load the mag, since they're so long and the grip is so close, you actually have to press this button and fold the grip out of the way, load the mag, and then lock that guy closed. So weird. Such an interesting design. But I gotta tell you, in terms of body kits, ITP knocked it out of the park with this thing. The quality, the machining, the milling, it is just beautiful. Absolutely stunning. And then it's a Tokyo Marui Saiga 12. It's like the bullpup of the century. This thing is so awesome. I was nuts when I saw this thing release. When I heard VFC was releasing a gas blowback push-push, I was blown away. I was so excited. Because as everybody knows, VFC just gets it. They know what they're doing. They do a great job. They have great quality control. They have great quality, and things just last. Shortly after that, they released the PPSH, and I was thrilled to get my hands on it. I had pre-ordered it. I waited months. It showed up at my house. We fielded it, and I quickly realized that the mags are the single worst drum mag that I have ever laid my eyes on. The design of it was terrible. This thing kicked, sounded great, the weight was there, it felt authentic, the stock wasn't pretty, it kind of looked like a hot dog, but it was awesome. The mags stink. I think there's a lot of room for improvement. The timing stinks because for some reason it keeps obliterating the BBs on the inside of the chamber and it's going to damage the nozzle at some point. But it feels great. This all feels great. I think if you sanded this stock and just put a better finish on it, and then they just gave us stick mags that work, this would be phenomenal. The G&G SMC9, a replica that I wasn't really thrilled about in the beginning when it first released, and then I kind of wanted one, and then I found one for a steal of a deal, and I picked this up on the hop-up I've used. It did not come with the standard muzzle brake, which was kind of a pain in the butt. Its performance outside of the box was honestly pretty dang good. It's designed to work like a secondary. The big problem with it is it can't be converted into a secondary. It's basically like a pistol carbine kit where you only get the carbine kit and the lower and you can't use the sidearm portion of it. So it kind of voids the idea that like, oh, I pick up like an AAP or a G19 and I throw it in a body kit and then I can take it out and I can throw it in. So like, and this is it, you get the body kit. It performs great. It feels great. It's compact. It's lightweight. The construction's good. It works. The only problem is it's so proprietary and aftermarket parts availability is like, it's okay, but it's not great. I believe the hop-up is, that the bucking is also proprietary. And the hop-up unit would be great if it was TDC. Instead, like, you have to take a tool out of the base and you have to screw it through the barrel and then twist it. I see what they were going for. I don't know. It's got a diesel amplifier up on the front. This is a Pinty red dot, and this is the one that has the smiley faces on it. And then obviously there's just a folding stock, and I threw on, or I didn't throw on, I picked it up with some paracord. And it's got this funky little red foregrip on it. I Don't think I'll change it at all. I actually kind of like the black and red scheme. This is how it came when I got it out of the box from the guy on the HPA, except I threw the red dot on there later on. Now, if this isn't cool, I don't know what is. This is an AAP1. And this is designed by a creator known as Firewad, who does a lot of 3D modeling. And what he does is he takes the AAP1, 3D print the lower in a bunch of parts, you 3D print the upper in a bunch of parts, and then you pick yourself up some AK mags, and you convert your G mags to HPA. You run the HPA line to your AAP1. You throw all of your AAP1's internals inside of the printed lower. You take the AAP1 upper, and you throw it into the 3D printed upper. You get an AEG AK mag, and then you have an HPA'd AK that you made out of an AAP1. Is that not ridiculous? And then all I did was I actually took this stock. This is stock that I had lying around. It's got a rail attachment piece to it. It's a tube stock. And this one was in tan. So I picked up some t-shirt dye, and I heat up the water. I poured black t-shirt dye in it. I dunked this in it and left it in for like 15 minutes, took it out, and boom. We had a black stock. This is a gas blowback channel, so I'm sorry. This is an AEG, but this is my Milsim piece. This I bring around when I just want to be able to increase the capacity of my mags. I want to increase reliability. It gets really cold out. It's a great backup. It's an absolute blast. This is my Silverback MDRX. I picked this up strictly because I went to my first American Milsim event, and I got clobbered. Now, primarily I'm a sniper, but they play into the night. And that really wasn't going to do, so I needed to try something else. And as it starts to get cold, a lot of the gas replicas are a pain in the butt. But you know the AEG is going to work. I would like to convert this to HPA at some point. I know Silverback is releasing an HPA variant soon, so maybe I'll look into that. But I know there's also some people who have modified the internals to take HPA engines that already exist. The sound is okay. The consistency is okay. The ergonomics of the MDRX are an absolute blast, and you know I'm an absolute nut for a bullpup. What I did to change some things here is actually it came with the Stark grip and the shush can. I love this Stark grip. I originally wasn't really a big fan of it, but as soon as I started messing around with it, I had a blast. This is the Goyojo thermal scope. I run a thermal scope on here, which is so cool. Honestly, it's kind of cheating. It's like wall hacks, if I'm being totally honest. I've been thinking about side mounting or like 45-degree angling a red dot off the side of it so I can do some close quarter stuff. But this thing is so cool. And it records video, and it also has a range finder on it. So like, it's just the whole 9 yards. This thing's so cool. You got to check the review on this that I did. And then I threw in Silverback's shim kit, and it now takes M4 mags. I have tested a few in there. The KWAs don't work. Some of the cheaper mags don't work. The Specna Arms ones do work, and the EPM ones are kind of finicky. This is a Specna Arms mag, and it's great. And it's just easier to index into pockets and pouches, and they're more readily available, in my opinion. Plus, most people already have them laying around, which is why I converted it. So if I ever need to borrow mags, if I ever need mags, if I ever want to carry more on my person, it's just better than mags that come with it. Not to juice up Silverback here, but we have another Silverback sniper. This is the Silverback TAC 41 Light Sport, I think. I don't know. This is the cheaper variant that's even lighter. The upper receiver is polymer, and it's not metal, which makes it the cheaper variant. It is unbelievably light. I mean, can you do its name? Weighs absolutely nothing. But it's a blast. And it is all about as accurate as the Silverback TAC 41 that I have before I put all my Stalker upgrades into it. Such an awesome piece. This one, though, is not spec to the Silverback TAC 41. I've had some trouble with certain things fitting on the inside of this one. And also, since the receiver doesn't have any of the guide rings that the other one has, if you don't know about it, you'll probably be like, what are you talking about? But since the this receiver doesn't have the guide rings on the inside of it, they wear in. With that one, the like Silverback TAC 41P and the TAC 41 Lite that isn't the sport variant, they have the guide rings, which help stabilize the bolt a lot more. So it's a smoother bolt pull. It's less likely to actually slip off the auto sear. It doesn't wear down and start to wear down consistently. This is just a cheap one. The stock that comes with it, this is a 3D printed shush can. It's just a fat boy, and it friction fits over the front. I primarily picked this up because Silverback had reached out to me and asked if I wanted to check out a product that they're making that originally came off of their Instagram page for an April Fool's joke where they designed a pump action, like a shoddy piece for this guy, and they wanted to send it out. So I picked this up. I tested it. The prototype does work. It's an absolute rip. It changes your bolt now from that to a pump, and I'm just holding on to this until they release that one. And then when they fully release the updated version, if they do, then I can install it on here, test it out, showcase it. And I may actually send this one on its way and pick up the light that isn't the sport version that has the metal upper receiver, just for quality. You know, this one's cool. It's definitely a cheap option. I would go with this if you don't know if you're going to stick with Airsoft, but you really want to snipe. I wouldn't recommend sniping as a new Airsofter anyway. But yeah, like I said, this one's cool. It's great. It keeps the cost down, but if you got the extra change, you may as well just purchase the good one once. This is quite possibly one of my favorites in my collection. This is the Northeast Famas. It is so cool. This was something that was rumored to release, and I was like drooling over it, primarily because the first, if I'm not mistaken, ever Airsoft AEG was the Famas. And it was super cheap, and it was one that I saw in a sporting goods store near my house growing up. And I remember eyeballing it and only being able to afford like Springer pistols, and also like the little like smoke, like colored smoke nades that you could light with a match. And I saw it all the time there behind the counter, and it was just so cool in the box. And who doesn't love a Famas? So when they said that they were releasing a Famas, I was blown away, and I waited and I waited and I waited, and I let the first batch go because it was extremely expensive. And then as soon as the first batch went out, I had picked up off the second batch, and when it got to my door, I was just flashing lights through Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I was drooling. It is so cool. I would love to see the different variant uppers made at some point. But since then, Northeast has actually went ahead and released bayonets that work with these, which are really cool. I would love to see the like nade launchers that are designed to go on these, because it does have the lug for it, which is cool. It does function in auto, burst, and all those good things. I did find out that re-greasing it and then also running a few thousand rounds through it to like work everything in was important, because a lot of it was just straight out of the factory with super tight tolerances. It's awesome. It is awesome. Northeast just does a really good job externally. Internally, a lot of their replicas are pretty good, but this is just, it's very, very well made. I don't see you having very many long-term problems. My next mission is to find a way to mount a small rail section here so I can get like a red dot or a small optic on there. It also comes with a bipod. This is my overly expensive GHK AK. And if you don't know, besides bullpups, I am an AK guy through and through. I absolutely love the rock and lock, the reach over the receiver to charge the bolt. It is just awesome. Now, with GHK, there's been some issues. GHK's version 1s, anything released before 2019, the quality control was great. They were designed to last. And after you threw some steel hammers inside of it, like steel fire control parts inside of it, the thing was a tank. Now, I was surfing through the Hop-Up app, and I knew that when GHK released their version 2s, quality control went down the hill. It's like they had a bunch of monkeys working in the warehouse checking things, and they would just go, ooh, and let it slide straight through the conveyor belts and didn't care. It was a disaster. Version 3's released, if I'm not mistaken, and the problem was supposed to be solved, and they claimed it was, and, well, it wasn't. So I went on the Hop-Up app, and just keep this in mind if you're looking at picking up a GHK AK. A few things that I want you to do is join the Heavy Recoil Discord. It is an awesome Discord channel with a bunch of people that know exactly what they're talking about. Hop into the GHK AK page and send those guys pictures, because they will tell you if things are pre-2019 or not. They know. I don't know. They know. I went online, and a lot of the people who buy and resell stuff on the Hop-Up app know that the GHK pre-2019s are more expensive, and they will just mark things as pre-2019 because they feel like it. They're trying to scam you. Be careful. I went online. I did nothing that I recommended to you. I saw the
GHK AK. I had to have it, and I bought it. I spoke to somebody who knows things. They said it's probably a version 2 based off the photos that I sent them. It came to my house. There was a bunch of Zenit Co. furniture on it, and I was so thrilled to check it out. And what we did in the video was check out the quality control. I flipped a coin. This will not happen to anybody else but me for some reason, and I'm so sorry. I got so unbelievably lucky. The quality control on this one was probably like at an 8 out of 10. It's honestly in a very good condition based off a lot of the GHK AKs that we've seen with warped receivers, and the trunnions are all bent up and in misalignment, and it chews up the nozzles, and it breaks BBs, and it messes up. It is just a disaster. So this is a version 2 that will work. It'll work. It's not recommended, it'll work. So again, do your research. Maybe check out VFC. But if you could really find a pre-2019 one, the GHKs are great because you can also Devil Hunters mod them, which instead of running gas blowback, you can run CO2 on them, which is really cool. Like the soda, they do the it's like the aerated soda cans on them, and it's cheaper and it kicks harder and it can hop heavier BBs and it is powerful and it works in all weather conditions. But GHK has such large reservoirs; they work in all like weather conditions anyways. Lo and behold, now we have a ton of Zenit Co. furniture on it. It is all not real Zenit Co. furniture. I'm not crazy. A little crazy. Not totally crazy. It's like fake Zenit Co. furniture. Some small grips. I have a Ace Tech Blaster AK tracer on it to keep things authentic. And then I actually just recently installed in a video the CV Life red dot and magnifier, because we do have a really long inner barrel on this thing, so some range shots are honestly pretty solid. There is an aftermarket fire selector switch here, which I do have some trouble with sometimes because it starts to want to back out on its own, and then a little fat charging nub. I love this thing. I think it's stunning. I love an old school AK, but I also love a modernized AK. I just really like AKs. Oh yes, another AAP1. Inside of the CFR Carbine kit from Hefe's Airsoft. This is an AAP1 with totally aftermarket parts on the inside. We're talking new triggers that are adjustable, extended bolt releases, full steel body kits on the inside of the hammer or the fire control unit, all upgraded springs and internals. We have an elongated barrel that extends almost halfway through the shush can, a stalker hop-up unit, stalker hop-up bucking, and it's inside of the body kit. It's an AAP1 on the inside of a body kit. It also has some upgraded charging handles. You can switch it from auto to semi from the bottom still. We have the Pinty Prism. I do have some 3D printed grip and gas pedal on here, and it makes holding it super comfortable. I did go ahead and paint it. And this is a Silverback 14mm counterclockwise carbon suppressor. This thing is unbelievably light. I can go ahead and fold the stock outside if I want to as well, if I'm traveling. This is just an awesome little piece of kit to run around with outside in like a smaller CQB style outdoor match. This thing's a predator. This right here is one of the first replicas on our channel that we reviewed. This is the VFC UMP45. And if I'm being totally honest with you, over the last few years, I have been nothing but impressed with this. Strictly because it literally just always works. I don't really know what they do to make it work, but it just always works. We're talking, I have fired this thing underwater, auto, semi, and burst. I have taken it out of the water and fired it again, and it has worked. I have dropped it in the snow. I have left mags in the snow, and the mags still work. I like in the snow for days, we're talking. I have ran this thing covered and caked in snow, and it still works. It just still works. I do believe some people have had the ability to upgrade the charging handle for the HK slat, the bolt, to a real steel one, which will allow it to be just a little bit stronger. I know they do have some like upgraded like steel bolts, but I never actually put that in because I figured longevity-wise that may actually start to wear down on the receiver because it's all polymer like the real one. The only thing that I have actually done to this thing is I have upgraded the outer barrel, because the original outer barrel just has a lock nug
on it that doesn't allow you to use threaded adapters. This allows you to use 14mm counterclockwise thread adapters. I got a cheap Amazon scope on it too because I abuse it, and when I throw it in the water, I don't want to destroy a really nice scope. UMP45, it just works. Cold weather, hot weather, in the water, out of the water, the snow, not the snow. Can't go wrong with the UMP45. This is the Action Army AAC C1 or Athena. And no, it's not BB. It is Airsoft. It may look like it. A lot of people didn't like that when it first released. I personally also understand that. Did I have a lot of faith in it? Yes. And the reason why, and I wanted to, is because it comes out of the box ready to accept not only gas, but CO2. And it also has a spring modification, which is nuts. It takes these small little capsules. They have ones that are gas, and they have ones that are CO2 at different powers. And you can install them on the inside of the bolt to run gas or CO2. And obviously with CO2, its power output is pretty substantial. I regret to say that it's really not perfect. It has a lot of flaws and a lot of things that I think, even though the innovation and the idea was cool, it was just executed not so correctly. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that a lot of gas and CO2, like liquid, starts to pour out into the barrel because it's sitting sideways. So if they found a way to get it to sit like this, it'd be a lot better. At least I think. I actually wound up going ahead and converting it to spring. And from my understanding, the bolt is completely VSR spec. So that's cool. So it takes some VSR upgrades. When I converted it to spring, it quickly became one of the quietest airsoft snipers that I've ever felt. It's very lightweight. It's very small. It's very compact. Kind of looks a little goofy up at the front, like a Scorpion or a Hornet or something. I wish the barrel was a little bit thicker. I did go ahead and throw a charging handle on it that's kind of like an M4 charging handle. So it's a little bit finicky. It's a little weird. Not finicky. It's a little weird. It's a little wonky. It's not so much sniper related now, and it's more just like a straight pull. So that's really cool. It does take VSR mags. And one of the other problems that we had with it is that in order to change out the gas, when you do run it on gas, you have to pull this back and flip that over, load the gas in, and then close this. But the problem is that's where the rail sits. And if you don't know already, when you move the rail around, it's a little challenging to get it to stay on 0. It does, but I'm worried that over time, as this becomes looser, that might not be the case. But I don't know. It's definitely cool. We got an extended buttstock on here, like the rubber pad. I did throw a receiver dress on it at one point, but I had to switch that off. It's cool. It's definitely cool. I think innovation is great in airsoft. But I think there's some tinkering that can be done to solve those problems. And I think if they were to do a second version and they listen to some of the community's recommendations and responses, I think that would make this thing pretty usable. Another Silverback product, we have the Silverback SRS. This is the A2. And the way that you could tell this is the A2 is based off of the ability to adjust the hop-up nubs. So this one comes with 2 hop-up dials on either right and left side. And the original variant had grub screws. The secondary variant had dials. I've since pulled that out because what I did is I upgraded everything in here. Now, don't mind the barrel sticking out. I actually run a suppressor over this. It's just the one that I switch back and forth between my TAC 41 because I only have one of them. I have a, the Vortex scope, plus a small little rail mount for a camera. On the inside of here, I have upgraded the Silverback upgraded steel sear. I have upgraded it with all Stalker parts. We have the piston, upgraded spring and guide rod, the Stalker hop-up unit, the Morpheus inner barrel, the Stalker hop-up bucking. I have a spacer here because I took off the handguard. That's going to close the space between the handguard or the upper receiver and the lower receiver. I also threw in some spacers from Airsoft Industries. We also have the Teflon fluted cylinder. And then this is really cool. This is an adapter from Industries that allows you to turn EPM1 mags into SRS mags. And they sit super cool. I have a custom fire pin indicator from Industries that when you pull it back, it lets you know that there's a BB in the chamber by popping a little green dial up, and then it goes back down when you fire it, which is super cool. This thing is just absolutely crazy. This is my short game sniper, where when I go and I play in shorter distances and more CQB environments, I can run this guy because the barrel's short and it's extremely compact. I mean, this thing is shorter than my arm. With the suppressor on it, the little chunky one, it is just tiny. Here we have the KWA F90, the Australian masterpiece, and honestly, it's like an AUG on a mission to just be better. When it comes to Airsoft, KWA did a pretty solid job with it. There's a couple of things that were an issue. For some reason, they decided it was a great idea to go ahead and make a proprietary barrel and bucking. I don't know. So with that being said, it was almost shot. And there is a creator known as Basement Arms that re-engineered a barrel and bucking that now, a hop-up unit that now takes barrel and buckings that are standard GBB spec. So it saved this platform. The other issue that we have with this platform is for some reason, the feed lips are so flimsy that they break all the time. So aftermarket feed lips are an absolutely essential thing. They're easy to print. You can 3D print them. And there's a couple more upgraded parts inside of here that we've added before we go on to the externals. So besides the bucking and barrel, as well as now the aftermarket hop-up unit, the fire selector switch on this thing is kind of dinky. It's this small little nub that basically just takes the two-stage trigger and stops it from going all the way back. The problem is when you're holding it, you like accidentally press that all the time. So Basement Arms also came out and adjusted the selector switch up here that takes it from fire to safe and put a midpoint, which now makes it auto, which is cool. So instead of 2 clicks, it's 3 clicks. So it saves that problem entirely. I have a foregrip on here, just a general rubber foregrip. I have an EOTech, a mock or a fake EOTech and a magnifier on here. And something that I would really love to see them do is offer shorter outer barrels. Otherwise, you have to cut these yourself and thread them. But shorter outer barrels would be really cool. And I think it would be awesome if somebody could manufacture a grenade launcher that goes in the bottom of here, because actually this is designed to pop out, if I can ever get it to pop out. And when that plastic piece pops out of the handguard, it's designed to fit and mount a grenade launcher. I just think that'd be so cool. I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever release one. I bet you somebody else is going to wind up making one that you could 3D print or something before then, but that is super cool. WE made an L85, and right now it's the only gas blowback L85 on the market. And I wasn't really into one until I saw a creator on Instagram post a video of his L85 firing, and the ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk that this thing made me want one. Despite all of everything that I know with WE and how not great they can be, I picked this thing up and there was a handful of problems. Some of the mags leaked. There was a couple broken parts inside of the hammer unit. The FCU was missing a pin somewhere. It was greased with like some peanut butter. If you watch the video, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It was like greased with peanut butter or something. It was just disgusting. But I have taken so much time in reviving this thing to find out that the full auto was an issue and it wasn't working. Semi was fine, but full auto just wasn't working. And I went in and I tried everything that I could to try and fix it. I've taken this thing apart countless times and I have no idea what to do. No idea. It works. It's a replica you're going to have to tinker with all the time. I don't recommend buying this at all unless you love and must have a gas blowback L85. I will say, though, with WE, they are consistent with their ability to get replacement parts. I think all companies should take note because WE, they make it pretty simple. So, replacement parts weren't a problem. L85. This is not the WE06. This is actually just a place where I store a bunch more replicas. So we'll pull new ones out, and I'll show you them. This is kind of the KWA KZ61, the Scorpion. This thing is super fun. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny little subcompact. It's got a folding stock. It rips. It's fast. It's aggressive. It's just fun. Is it the best in the world? No. You can get extended mags and stubby mags. I actually really like the stubby mags. And I believe Black Variable makes an HPA drum mag for this thing, which is even cooler. There's a couple 3D printed aftermarket stuff too, where you could change out the charging handles and stuff. I've even seen people like mock up the barrels and put like red dots on here and foregrips and flashlights and things and like tube stock. So, I mean, possibilities are endless. This one's just really cool. This is the infamous KWA MP9. A lot of people asked if I was going to be picking up the Maruyama variant. No. If it ever came my way, I wouldn't be upset, but I have the KWA, and the KWA works great. This is one of those replicas that's been out forever, and it's going nowhere. It is just good. The main reason I picked this up is because ITP actually reached out and asked me to check out one of the adapters for their AW drum mags. AW drum mags are really cool because they have a bunch of different adapters, and ITP manufactured a drum mag adapter for the MP9, which AW didn't originally do. They only do like Glock, they do AK, I think. They do M4. They do high Kappa. But yeah, that was really cool. They do 1911 too. I've got a standard Pinty optic on there. I've got this tiny little chunky foregrip. There's really not a whole lot to it right now. I really do want to pick up the suppressor, the proprietary suppressor that comes with this one. But it's just a really cool piece. I think everyone should have one if you have a collection. This is the FMG9 from Poseidon. I feel like the FMG9 needs no introduction. This is like a little suitcase. This is Poseidon Ace-Tex combination. So what basically this means is the FMG9 is a body kit housing the skull of the Poseidon Orion. And Ace-Tex makes a tracer that is extremely easy to put in and take out. It's printed with the obvious, like, you know, computer components on the inside of it. And it just slides right back in. If I can ever do it with this hand, I'm going to have to do it with this hand. There we go. And it just closes up just like that. I got a Trustfire flashlight on it, obviously, because, you know, FMG9 needs a little flashlight. And then your charging handle. To fold it back up, you kind of need two hands. So I'm going to diddle with it for a second here. You got to fold the grip, then the handle, and then the stock, and it folds up and latches closed in the front, just like that. Next is the MAC. This is the HFC? KWC? It's not the KWA, it's the other one. MAC-11. It's cool. This is the cheaper one. It doesn't have the metal upper. It's plastic. But I actually picked this up for a steal of a deal. And when I got it, it was like, I don't know, it came with like 6 mags plus this thing for like 120 bucks. I feel like I couldn't turn that down. It's right. It's a blast. It'll last. But it's a Mac, you know. My buddy has a Mac. He has the KWA, which is originally why I picked this one up. I was kind of intrigued with his. This is the sidearm that never dies. I actually originally picked this up as my sidearm for my sniping, just because I needed something that was reliable, and if I was going to land on things, drop it, abuse it, get it soaking wet, it was going to last. This is the Elite Force 1911. My only rife with this thing is it runs on CO2. CO2 is great. It lasts in the cold, no problem. Honestly, the only problem that I have with CO2 is how annoying it is to have to unscrew something to get a new gas in. I'd rather just have a bottle and psh it in and take it out. But Elite Force just did a great job. It actually needs a new hop unit because the dial is loose. So I actually took super glue and glued it in place. I'm telling you, I've abused this thing. And then I just gave it this little grassy paint job so it could blend in. The 1911 guys are probably going to hate that I did that. Sorry. If you don't know already, this is the fastest, or at its time, was the fastest full auto pistol out of the box, the Tokyo Marui Extreme 45. And what's really interesting about this, it's a high Kappa platform, but it has no semi. It's only auto. Like, that's it. And it just shreds through BBs. The upper's plastic, so it keeps it super light. It's already pre-short stroked out of the box. And like I said, there is no full auto.
This is an awesome one. This is the Novritsch SSP5. And you'll be wondering why mine is so much longer than everybody else's. That's because YMS Airsoft sent me their Touch Tammy Tracer, which is an integrated tracer unit and flash hider for the SSP5. On the side of it, I'm running the Novritsch Quick Attach holster and the Olight Valkyrie. This is the PL Mini 2. Super tiny compact flashlight. I love this thing. I run this as a primary indoor, honestly. It's a little too big to run as a secondary now. So inside of these cases, start you off with this one. This is the Lancer Tactical LTX Competition, and I'm currently running a Trustfire flashlight and laser on it. This guy is honestly really cool. It's the model of the TP22 that U-Shot does, and Novritsch also does the SSP22, I think it is. I don't know what they call it, but it's awesome. So it takes G-Mags, as well as a lot of the Glock like FCU parts and trigger parts, and a lot of the springs too. The hop-up unit's what's really unique about this. So it's one of those replicas where the slide moves and the barrel's locked in place, and your RMR mount is attached to the barrel. What that means is it keeps the RMR mount totally stable and not moving, while it can still feed, reciprocate, and reload another round. It does fire in auto and semi with a selector switch, much like the G18Cs. And the hop-up dial is right on the back, easily accessible. I absolutely love this platform. I think it shines better than even the AAP1 or the high Kappas. I absolutely love it, and I think it belongs up in the top tier of sidearms for Airsoft. This is my sleeper build AAP. It is just absolutely loaded with upgrades. I'm going to tell you right now, everything inside of here is aftermarket except for the outside. Everything. There is not a single thing in here besides the safety, the lower, the mag release, the upper receiver, and the outer barrel that are aftermarket. Everything else. Everything else. This is a fun one. I guess I'll show it to you. This is a ballistics knife, 3D printed. And what's really cool about it is it actually does shoot using PPS CO2 shells. It fires 3 BBs at a time, load it in the back, close it, and then you press this button in the back to fire the shells. I'll go ahead and flip this around because it is double-sided. This is the TP22, which is the other variant of the LTX competition with an amatic sight on it. Basically the same exact thing. Also great. Some like minor changes on the exterior. This is the Elite Force H8R. Probably the only usable revolver on the airsoft market. I gave it like a crazy paint job. These were dirt cheap. Like honestly, like they're below like $70 in some places. You can get them like $40 on the Hop-Up app and eBay sometimes. The one downside is I picked this one up for like $30, but it didn't have the screw at the base to put in the CO2 canister. So I reached out to Elite Force. They actually sent me one, which was really cool. And what's really cool about these, they take 10 rounds. And it's really quick to load because all you have to do is slide this little notch forward, latch it up, and then you could slide these little cookies out, if I can ever get it out with this hand. And that's how you load your BB. So you can load a bunch on your person at a time. It's consistent, it's powerful, it's CO2, and the mags are readily available. You can even 3D print them if you want, which is awesome. Let's pop this guy open. Looks like we got 4 in here. This is the Tandem Cross Cthulhu. It's an AAP platform designed to be pre-upgraded out of the box and match somewhat of Tandem Cross's original design that they do in real steel. It's basically an AAP-01 with a stronger hammer, a safety selector, extended bolt release and mag release, an adjustable trigger, a charging ring, this crazy flashlight or a compensator. You have an external barrel that's got like a twist to it, rails, you name it. It can rise its rear sights. It's got a gas pedal. Crazy looking. They come in a bunch of different colors now too. When they originally released it, it was just black and red. They got gold, blue, green, tons of different colors. This is one of like a ton of AW's high Kappas. I actually got this in a trade. I didn't ask for this. It was just added on top of another replica that I traded for because the price was higher of my replica that I was sending. So I was like, you got anything else? And it was, this is what he offered. So I took it. It's got auto. I haven't really looked at this much. It's got an RMR plate on the back. I don't know if it comes like that. I don't know. Is it saying on the side? There's no ArmorWorks makes it. This is my SSP-18 from Novritsch with a little carbine kit on the back. I'm currently running it with a red dot. This is one of the Novritsch red dots that he's got on his website. It is absolutely kitted out in all of the gold parts and attire. It's got the gold magwell flare, gold trigger. It's got the gold outer barrel and muzzle. It's got the gold slide. And I've got this big flashlight on the end of it that has a flashlight and laser. This one's fine. It's got auto and semi. It's basically just Novritsch's take on Glocks. And then this one's super cool. This is the XG8 by Poseidon. We're currently making a video on this, so don't tell T238 I showed it to you yet until we get there. This is the T238 Swift Tracer. I've got one of Olight's newest and most improved flashlights. They're PLX. And this is the XG8. It's just like a futuristic sidearm that takes Glock mags again, which is awesome. And you can actually customize these on their website. They do a ton of different variants where you could do like the different colored lowers, different colored uppers, different, you know, all of this stuff. And it even comes with like RMR mounts and stuff too. But I like the fact that this iron sight's like dead in the center. And just the rear reciprocates. So that's cool. And to change its fire selector, it's just in the bottom under that, kind of like the AAP1's is. Just turn on the flashlight. This is a unique one. This is a fully 3D printed airsoft kit with a hop-up unit that works and extending stock, with a little bit of electronics jammed on the inside of it that allow you to run it with an HPA engine. It's just so cool. What's really interesting here is it also runs the ARP9 mags up in the base. Originally, I was having some troubles with it, but it was more like during its prototype phasing. And he sent it out, and I got the liberty to test, or the luxury to test it, and it is just shows what 3D printing can do. You got an HPA engine and some like ability to tech around, and you could pull this out, and it's evil. Because with the HPA engines too, you can program them to binary, burst, semi, auto, the speed, like a little HP8 SMG. I'll give you a brief look here because we actually haven't gotten to review this one on the channel yet. This is the SR2M from Raptor. We just unboxed this recently. It came out of the box greased to like, oh my god, there was just so much crud on this thing. And I don't want to touch too much of it because it's an absolute mess still and stuff is just leaking out of it. But I'm going to go ahead and obviously clean that out before we do the video. But something that I found really intriguing about this one is it does come in like that brown color, which I really liked. So I picked it up. I originally ordered it in black, but I reached out to Octagon and asked them if they could switch it to brown, and they were happy to do so. And the hop-up unit is accessible right there with the dial. Kind of just cool. I got like major PP2K vibes from it when I had first seen it release, and I love the PP2K, so I don't know. I think I'm not going to share my opinions yet. We're going to wait for the review for that one. Hello, old friend. We'll save one of the coolest things to date in my airsoft collection for last. This is the pneumatic airsoft nail gun. Designed and manufactured by Alamix. It is a working, either gas blowback or HPA, depending on what adapter you put on, airsoft replica. And it comes with a TDC hop-up. And even cooler, the mag. I'm so sorry, I had to figure out how to do this with one hand. There we go. Is removable. You can load your BBs in there. It does not come with this mag. This is an aftermarket mag. It's got 100 rounds in it. And he even offers parts that can turn this thing into a tube stock, like
a buffer tube with a stock on it. I've thrown red dots on here and foregrips using some basic like barrel attachment pieces. This is just ingenuity at its finest. Believe it or not, I believe it uses Silverback suppressors for the front. Holy moly. Man, I remember when I first unboxed this. Did I mention there's only like 40 of these in the world right now? And they're all in people's hands. Every one of them. You can't get them. You have to find one that someone already has. For those of you that made it to the end of this, I hope you had a fun time. And that is my update on the start of 2026 or end of 2025 stupid Airsoft's stupidly expensive Airsoft collection. I had a blast. I hope you did too. Thanks for hanging out all the time. And remember, you guys are the reason that I am able to do these things. So thank you for allowing me to live my hobby to its fullest and enjoy it like a kid in a candy store. I'll catch you guys in the next adventure. Peace.